Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, Perfect Plex Radio. We about to go live on him. Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's cause he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? We about to give y'all something special. You ready? Let's go! At the money, now you're wrong, what you getting in? Perfect Plex Radio, got them listening. Mike Knoxxx, from Cena to the Rock, or whatever wrestler is hot. News and interviews, it's a one-stop shop. Matter of fact, let me give you more choices. You could call in and be the voice with the voiceless. So what you waiting on? Let's get it cracking. Let's talk wrestling, that's enough rapping. Perfect Plex Radio. Simply, we about to give y'all something special. You ready? Let's go!
Hear me. People, we are live this Monday evening. Happy Capricorn season to all the Capricorns out there. But remember, our Kelly's a Capricorn, so is that really a great sign to be? I'm just saying, but welcome to the show. The pros, intelligent rock and rollers all listen to it. And so do you because you're an intelligent wrestling fan. I'm your host, Mike Knoxxx. And indeed, I spell name with 3 motherfucking S's. Because frankly, like that whore that you dated, it's the truth. I am hardcore. Make sure you go ahead and follow us, like, follow, subscribe. Hit the notification icon button so whenever we go live, you can see us live right here on the Mike Knoxxx Show, Perfect Plex Talk Radio. Presented by Unpopular Review, baby. And today, I am not here alone. Oh, no, my people. I testify. I bring in the executive consultant. What's going on, sir?
What is up, Mike Knoxxx? Good to see you, good buddy. It's been a while on the wrestling side, I might add, since I've done a show and been on with you. So I'm looking forward for this next hour to talk about some wrestling.
We're going to talk some wrestling. We're going to talk some wrestling. And the wrestling I want to talk about is this man right there in the middle. You see him, Mr. Vincent Kennedy, VKM they call him. Because I will never forget certain things like this. Remember this picture? We know this was followed by, what up, my woo? Okay? Then we see this picture here. Was like, oh, yeah, like, who wouldn't want to be in this position Mr. VKM placed himself in? Who wouldn't want to have a dinosaur head behind them in their office and complain and bitch about it? I don't know. The people out there who think they are perfect. But we're going to talk about why, Vince, why. Everyone's words about him is like a consultant is he's egotistical. He can't come back. He can't do this. But we're going to talk about why, Vince, why. Also, I asked you this question. I asked everybody this question. Comment below. Let me know. So my man King Von Jr. 720 on the Twitter, Mr. Victorious One's podcast, can tweet out what you say and what you do, but make sure you say it clearly because he might mess you up, okay? Just so you know. But my man's backstage holding us down. Listen, is Roman a fighting champion? I heard that this past weekend on all you guys' favorite show, Busted Open Radio. And shout out to my man, LaGreca, and all those guys over there at Busted Open Radio, you know, friend of the program, Factuals. You know, so I'm going to say this with all the factuals. That was the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. But do you think Roman is a fighting champion? I love Roman. I got my whole family like saying Wakanda forever. And when I can yell every single week that Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler. Of all the times. See, you heard him in the background. That I don't think Roman is a fighting champion. And I'm okay with that. But when I heard he's a fighting champion, I was like, huh? Are we talking about the same guy? And then also, you know where it happened this past week. She was the talk of the universe. Miss Mercedes Moné. It's Moné. That is the question, executive consultant. So I start with you right now, real fast to get into it. It's called The Week in Wrestling That Was. And last week, I mean, they saying that Bianca Belair herself and Alexa Bliss reincarnated the Scary Movie skit with the zombie and my girl Regina. Your thoughts on the weekend wrestling? I thought Jericho continued to be what I say every legend in wrestling should be when they're at a certain age. Is their job is to put over talent. That means they have to continue to win because they're legends. But they got to know when someone can go over when that match sort of kind of doesn't matter. But the win for that wrestler matters. See, Intelligent Show for the Intelligent Wrestling fan. And then SmackDown is just, I mean, when your tribal chief is on, it's hot TV. Your thoughts, executive consultant on the weekend areas in professional wrestling?
I thought last week was actually pretty good. I got the chance to see Raw. I got a chance to see SmackDown. I got a chance to see AEW Dynamite. Unfortunately, I did miss NXT. But I enjoyed every last one of those shows I just mentioned from the beginning to end. I thought SmackDown told a very good story. Even with the bloodline, Roman talking about the fact he lost, but did not lose. The Sami Zayn was the one that got pinned. AEW Dynamite, I thought, was a spectacular show from bell to bell, and I usually don't say that about Dynamite, but I really, really was impressed by that show. And including Raw. What?
What'd you say?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed AEW Dynamite.
From bell to bell?
From bell to bell. I had no slow periods of AEW Dynamite this week. Not one. I enjoyed every single bit of AEW Dynamite, and I enjoyed Monday Night Raw. That's it. It's just been solid week of wrestling last week, and I mean, if you enjoy it, I mean that's on you. But I challenge you to tell me what you did not enjoy about that show, because like I said, or any of those shows. I heard NXT was also very good. The only thing I saw was a whole bunch of women. And you can ask me my favorite match on Wrestle Kingdom, and I'll probably say all of them because I didn't see
You better
them.
not say Leo Rush, because I don't acknowledge Leo on this show, although I'm a Leo. The Kings of the Jungle.
What did Leo Rush do to deserve your angst?
Well, you know, we do a show on UPRE, Pop Review Entertainment, called The Challenge MTV.
Correct.
And I'm a wrestling fan, right? You know, you make fun of me all the time, right?
Clearly.
I'm a wrestling fan.
I remember.
He came on the show and went home. Not because he got kicked off the show, but because he couldn't hack it. And as a person who all my life has loved professional wrestling, and that word that makes professional wrestlers mad fake comes out, I still, it ain't, you better not call it fake. But we know what it is, right? So I defended this gentleman, and I still love him for it. Bobby, no one looks like you, Bobby. Pose for him, Bobby. I love Leo Rush, but he did a sucker move right there. So he's not sucker free. I like Leo Rush, but he's not sucker free.
Yeah, I think he's a 26-year-old piece of gold now, though.
Okay, well, he's still a sucker, just free. So, what was your favorite part of Wrestle Kingdom? He asked you, what was your favorite? You said all of them. You said all of them.
All of them, because I didn't see it. I didn't watch it. It's too much wrestling for me to me watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Happy New Year. You got the Mega Powers here tonight. Look at that. The two guys right here.
I had to say that it was a solid show from what I read and from what I understand, but I can't speak intelligently on it.
I love the honesty there of what I read, right? Because wrestling fans will act like they saw every shit. Right? Like I watch MLW. I watch Impact on Twitch.
Case in point, the WWE just had that guy some signing Dragon Lee, I believe is.
Yeah.
And he was all over the internet last week. All over the internet. Everybody's like, "What a great acquisition for WWE." And in my head, when I'm seeing some of these people talk about how great they think this acquisition is, I'm looking at you like, "Have you even seen this guy wrestle? Do you even know who this guy is?" Most people never heard about Dragon Lee. But for some reason, he signed to WWE, and everybody in the world knows this man. Oh, he's like the best signing WWE can get right now. Get out of here. And George Samuel Lewis, I can say Roman Reigns, and we're going to talk about him a little later. But just a preface where I'm going to say Roman Reigns is not a fighting champion. I agree with Mike, and we are the biggest Roman Reigns fans. But we have to be honest, the man has not defended his championship since October.
All right. Well, let's talk about this right here. And that is the play on the words, right? So I need somebody to correct me, right? So before we got on air, I'm talking to King Von Jr. 720 backstage, right? And I'm like, you told me her name was pronounced MONE, like money, right? So I got into a whole debate today about is it money or money? But either way, it's Mercedes Moné Bank CEO money. And I want to tread very, very lightly when talking about Miss Mercedes, okay?
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
In no way am I ever going to put down a sister. I may not be, shout out to the Black Announce Table and all the other black wrestling podcasts that are out there. Hello, you're welcome. But I will say and continue to be what I've always stated here is that the words of the great Issa Rae at the Oscars, yo, Issa, who you want to see win tonight? I'm going for everybody black, right? So if that makes you think that I'm some sort of a colorist or racist, then okay. Look at the definition. I can't be racist. Okay, I don't own anything. I'm not the dominant species. But to say that disclaimer is to say, I love Mercedes. I wish Mercedes nothing but the best. We all know that I forever have thought that Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. And y'all have all heard me say why I believe so and the so forth and the second generationists and all that stuff. And now you guys have your defense against that about the horrible moonsaults and she was given everything because she's Flair's daughter and so forth. And I debate that, but that's not here for that. I've always assumed that Sasha was still third, fourth best to me, right? I've openly admitted I've never been a big fan of her gimmick, right? I think in the squared circle, which where it matters, I have 5 things to being great, right? Can you tell a story? Sasha tells a story. Do people like her matches? People love Sasha's matches. Can she go inside the square circle? If she has ring awareness, Sasha has it all inside that square circle. I personally, that's the key word here, executive consultant, personally am not a fan of the character. And no character of one Mercedes Money. And I think the 10 best things that she is known for and will ever be known for has come because of the WWE. And we've talked about wrestlers in the past that have got the big head, that have gone into business for themselves. CM Punk, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, Brock Lesnar. Lists can go on Macho Man, HH. The list can go on and on for wrestlers who have gone in business for themselves. And I get we live in a different world today where you can defend your territory. You do not need them any longer like yesteryear to make money. But you take away the matches with Bayley at NXT TakeOver. You take away the WrestleMania matches that some said she should have won, but I was like, okay, everybody loses. Team Bad, to me, could not have been anywhere great without Sasha Banks. I want this to be said because I've been told, executives, that I'm a hater. WrestleMania 32 matches and all. I just don't see Sasha being as good without the WWE, right? I know in King Von we joke, that's my brother. The tweet came out wrong. It's okay. I didn't say that Sasha would never go to AEW. What I said is that if Sasha should not ever go to AEW because her going to AEW, in my opinion, she's too big for them. She's too big for them. Today, the post, Unpopular Review, I hope we retweeted it out there. If you haven't, guys, like, follow, and subscribe to Unpopular Review. Okay. Instagram, Twitter, you name it, it's out there. We have it. Where one famously known Britt Baker. Yes, it's really been 4 years today. Wow. We've come a long way, but there is still work to be done. Let's F&G. Love me or hate me, which we love. Okay. I'll always be the first female signed to AEW. I gotta say, Dr. Britt Baker, your career is over. Because you have the overrated Saraya there. And now you have the overpopulated ego that shit. This is all still rumors. It's all said she's there. We're going to find out in 48 hours. They're going to consult. And here's where I shut the F up. I just don't think she's money outside of them. If CM Punk could barely push that needle, and I guess she has the Star Wars backing and that kind of world, but CM Punk was CM Punk. And we can go social media all you want to, but CM Punk is CM Punk. I just don't see Sasha Banks being money for that company. Mercedes Moné being Mercedes Moné. And I think she went to business for herself. And a better move would have been the WWE. Can't hear you.
Sometimes that mute button be so far away. All right, so I completely agree to a certain extent. I don't think it's a good idea for Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, whatever you want to call her, to go to AEW. She did sign, reportedly. We don't know, right? Reportedly, she signed.
Sexy as hell right there in that stand.
People talk about her Wrestle Kingdom interest. This is the only thing that I saw, of course, because it was her. It was a little underwhelming. You know, people talk about the crowd. Japan's crowd's a little bit different, you know, whatever. But you did not get the presentation. And somebody said this in the chat. I believe it was Big Daddy Cool. Shout out to him. Who wanted me to tell you Saray said hi.
Hey, baby. Yeah. I got the tapes.
Right. It's Saray. But anyway, so always messing up the name. But it wasn't the production of WWE helps out Sasha Banks a lot. And she's going to be Sasha Banks for me for a while before I get used to call her.
It's hard.
Even though Mercedes is her real name, and I'm not disputing that. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be hard for me to call her other than Sasha Banks because that's the name to make her a star. That's why I know he doesn't like saying Hulk Hogan's name on here, but Terry Bollea changed his name.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Warrior, ironically, changed his name. Shawn Michaels, Michael Hickenbottom, changed his name.
This is the comment of the day right here because I said this last week, and
he's been on this all week.
You went from WrestleMania to San Jose,
but y'all still stuck
San Jose.
You still stuck on the venue. The bottom line is whether it's WrestleMania or the San Jose Civic Center. Let's be real, they're selling out, and why are they going to sell out? They're going to sell out because of Mercedes money.
Well, they're not going to sell out anyway.
They probably would have sold out anyway.
Okay,
let's be real. Tickets are going to move a lot faster because Sasha's on the card, and they want to see what she can do. Sasha Banks, you said Charlotte Flair is your favorite. You had an episode.
I didn't say she was my favorite.
Charlotte Flair?
I never follow my.
You think she's the greatest? Okay. All right, hold on. Tell me your logic in a second. But the bottom line is, we actually had an episode about a year or so ago where we ranked the 4 horsewomen, right?
Yes, we did.
And the only thing that we all were in consensus on, this is sad, was that Becky Lynch was number 4. Right?
Yes, we did.
Overall, okay. Now understand. Not saying that she's not a better wrestler. Any of them. Not saying she's not more entertaining. But overall, Becky Lynch was number 4.
Right.
I think Sasha Banks can stand well on her own. I think what's going to hold her back if she does join AEW or if she did join AEW is honestly her ego. And I've been talking about this ever since she left. And this is not to insult any woman, any black. So please don't even turn scrap into that, right? But when she walked out, I was one of the ones in the minority, pun intended. I was one of the ones that did not agree with that.
You know,
she had a job to do.
For the fans.
Right. She should have did it. But her ego kept her out of it. And like I said, I know it's unpopular. I don't care. I agree. I don't think she should have done it that way. I think she could have handled it a different way.
And I agree.
And I also tell people all the time, and I'm shout out to people who recognize her already. If you watched her podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin, she pretty much told you the deal.
Yeah.
She thought in her mind, I had to rewind it and listen to it again. I said, Mercedes, I didn't even know her name was Mercedes yet. I said, Mercedes, are you serious? She said, I should be like Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
He eats steak. I want to eat steak. Yeah. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with shooting for the moon. But it's the difference when you're trying to get to Roman Reigns level and you just hopping above that. Right? Because she was not the star of the Thunderdome era.
But you know what the problem becomes? Executive consultant, and I know that without the fans, I couldn't be here. So I love the people that stay consistently. But it's wrestling fans, man. They've gotten to this point where I listen to me. I get you, man. I like my delivery, right? I get you, man. I like looking at my face. But here's the words that are coming out of my mouth. The problem with wrestling became when wrestling became everyone is a superstar. No, they're not. We've had wrestlers on this program. We've had wrestlers in the comments saying they know their job is to get. I just said about Chris Jericho when he came to Dynamite. He get them over. Some guys are just there to get people over. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when wrestling became the perception of fans to think star. No, they're not. And I'm not saying she's not a star.
She is. If she signed with AEW, in my opinion, she will be the biggest star in that company. And that's over everybody. That's over everybody. I don't care what your name is. And you can debate that with me. Even Jon Moxley, I think Sasha Banks will be the biggest star in that company.
For question is, for how long?
And you know he's going to shell out the money. That's why I'm pretty sure she did it.
I'm pretty sure.
You know, AEW, I'm not going to say it's a sinking ship because it wasn't going to go out of business, but people weren't really ready to hop over there as fast as they were a year ago. Let's just be real. Or a year and a half ago, right? She's the biggest name they signed in a while. And it's all because even though WWE will give her some more money, WWE will help her out, she knew she could go to Tony. Tony's going to give her a big hug, sign even more money over for her, and make her the AEW Sasha Banks Mercedes Moné division. That's what it's going to be called. And I completely agree with you. I'm sorry, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. You're very good at you, and you have been. But already I can tell you stop dropping anyway, right? Because Jamie Hayter, right? So I've already seen that. You still have Tony Storm, who's also.
I'm sorry, stop right there. I knew you were going to say her damn name. Tony who? They gave her the belt because her name from WWE. I'm sorry.
I don't disagree.
Tony, well, I mean, and I thought Ruby Soho. I thought Tony going here was better. Okay, because she just.
I thought it was better for her too. But she's been kind of bland.
Yes,
she's been kind of bland.
Kind of bland. She's like missionary position every single night.
But people need to understand.
Lift the leg up, put them both back.
People need to understand that there's certain things that WWE just can do and showcase. And Derek, shout out to Derek, who mentions it right here with Sasha. There's certain things WWE can do to make you a bigger star than what you would be if you went to an AEW. Because not a lot of people who jump ship outside of Jon Moxley, of course, have gone over to AEW and been super successful.
Todd, I asked you, why was this best for business as I close the subject? I want to know this as we move on, okay?
I disagree.
Because I completely disagree with that statement, but I respect you for putting that there. I think.
But I can understand it. Because you don't want to have that kind of mentality that if you don't like something.
Controversy equals cash. Eric Bischoff coined it best, right? So, but the question is how long? And I said this before. I could have from you as well. Is this what she wants? Same thing about Mandy Rose, right? I love people always are getting on Booker T. He speaks the truth. She popped out in a Rolls Royce with the doors reversed. You need more than $1 million for that lifestyle. I hope it was rented. Okay, so
if you got it flaunted, shout out to Mandy Rose. But the WWE had to do what they had to do as a business. And as a boss, as a manager, I can tell you, you don't want to create the atmosphere of, oh, I don't want to lose. I want this to go this way. I don't want to do what you have to do, say what you have to do. And then you let them walk out. I think that's a mentality you want to set for all your superstars, especially since everybody wants to be that superstar right now. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is.
And as I want to leave this conversation, this is one of the things I almost forgot here. Jade who? And let's keep it a beam. Jade who?
I'm about to shout out to my inner DJ because
no, it's right there. Listen, I got in trouble for talking about this woman.
Okay. Have you seen her? Have you seen her?
So I just think that of what I've always said. I got to be honest. Aesthetically aside, this girl needs work.
No, she don't.
Her
aesthetics are enough. Her aesthetics are enough. Look at this. My hands are going like this because I don't want to see any part of her.
Her and Mercedes Moné will not touch. They won't even sniff each other's locker rooms.
Okay, I was about to say, be careful with that comment.
Yeah, I was very careful. I was very, very careful with that comment. But
gosh, she's hot.
Huh?
Jade Cargill.
Okay.
But so is Sasha.
So is who?
Sasha. I've always had a thing.
I'm sorry. What's her name?
Mercedes Money.
Okay. So,
but you know what? WWE even saw something because I say this all the time. A lot of people don't know this. Sasha is still very, very. Mercedes is still very, very young. She's younger than Bianca Belair, but they chose to make Bianca Belair next to Becky Lynch the face of that company or the face of that division. So just keep that in mind. But that's because I said, in my opinion, I think you might have talked about this last week. I think Bianca Belair is just more marketable than Mercedes Moné. Now, that could be an argument of a comment, but that's just my personal opinion.
I'm not.
She sells more merchandise, in my opinion. Because you said it. You can see little girls, black and white, whatever, doing that. That's the John Cena effect that I've always talked about, and that's why they kind of went with Bianca Belair, in my opinion. Sasha's still a draw.
I 100%.
Civic Center. Here we come.
She's going to be a draw. It's simple as that. So with that, guys, we're going to take our first breaks of today. Okay, come back, go pay some bills, which are technically, there are bills, we pay for the stuff around here. So if you want to like, follow, subscribe, and, hit any of those buttons that help us stay on air and get better equipment and all that stuff, like, you just, it's there. You know what I'm saying? It's there for you. But Sasha, no, we got to call her Mercedes now. That's frankly her name. And I just don't think her going to AEW, if that's the lick, it's best for business. But with that being said, we're going to come back, take some break, come back, get this week in wrestling history, because there's a lot going on. That's a lot going on here in UPRE. That's Unpopular View Entertainment. Not just wrestling, but entertainment as well. What's your favorite movie? Let's talk about it. What's your favorite TV show? Let's talk about it. We'll be right back.
For episodes, I got instantly hooked because I'm a tech guy, and I just found this whole concept of the afterlife incredibly interesting. And then the thing about it is also what I also found interesting is how far I think technology is going to be, because the setting is 2033, so 10 years in the future. So now it gives me a Back to the Future feel. It makes me wonder, like, if a lot of this stuff is going to happen.
Interesting concepts, like, just the whole thing of, would you rather die a natural death, or would you rather have your consciousness uploaded to this, digital world, right?
Digimon.
Digimon, digital monsters.
I have to get this off my chest, actually. Duke, I know what you're up to. So you decided to bring them Chase U students over to Drew Gulak's seminar to get them to look at Andre differently. You wanted for Andre to get smoked. You knew that Drew was going to smoke him. And so you was like, let's have him look dumb in front of the students so I can get them. That's what you're trying to do. I've been saying this, and he's just getting away with it.
Okay. His gimmick, he was messing up. He said, "Hey, how about you do this?" And as he did it, it was working. And I had to say, Devin, you are the man. I'm on Big D. That's his name. Big D led the way. Good job, Delvin. Delvin fan over here. I might have to be Delvin representative.
Well,
that might be my new name.
It's Devin.
Devin!
TJ's laugh is got to be one of the most orgasmic laughs one can have. He legitimately thinks that this shit's hilarious.
No, he does.
This. And that's what I love about that. Amber, Mariah.
Yeah, no, this was I like this episode a lot. I'm very sad for Mariah. But girl,
what did you say about that you couldn't spell?
What I would do if I was her, write devotion down 12 times on a mat, put that bitch on my door, and just
was great. The Uncle Howie situation. First of all, okay, now we all can suspect and read the dirt sheets and go, "Oh, that's Bo Dallas. That's Bo Dallas. Oh, look, that's Bo Dallas." But I don't know if that's Bo Dallas. Look, I mean, it's probably Bo Dallas, right? But the fact that he attacked the Fiend, I thought was impressive. I thought was good. Reported that Bray Wyatt was going to be in this because Mountain Dew was doing the Pitch Black campaign. They were hosting or sponsoring the Royal Rumble. So now there's that Pitch Black match at the Royal Rumble between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. I'm here for that. I am a fan of LA Knight. I wasn't the biggest fan of LA Knight in the beginning. Watching him in person at NXT here in Orlando, I was able to follow him a little bit more and got into him a little bit more. But I love a wrestler that can control the crowd, and the way that he can manipulate the crowd to what he hey.
Yo, it's crime time. EST. Soul Man, Rocky Johnson. It's the Honky Tonk Man, NWO. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? UPR and Around the Blocks give to you This Week in Wrestling History with King Von.
All right, everyone. Of course, this is King Von Jr. of the Victorious Ones podcast. Presented, it's going to be presented by Unpopular Review pretty soon. But of course, I'd like to give you the rundown on This Week in Wrestling History. On January 8th, 1995, Arn Anderson defeats Johnny B. Bad for the WCW title, WCW TV title, the WCW television title. On that same day in 1998, WCW Thunder made his debut. Sting vacated the WCW title, the month after Starrcade 97. On that same night, Juventud Guerrera defeated Ultimo Dragon for the WCW Cruiserweight title. DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, defeats Kevin Nash by DQ to retain the U.S. title. Of course, on that same day in 2006 was New Year's Revolution. The most famous thing about that was Edge, becoming the first cash-in, Money Bank cash-in, cash-in as he defeated John Cena to win his first WWE championship. Edge won his first WWE title by cashing on Cena. Of course, on January 9th, on an untelevised Monday Night Raw, untelevised WWE taping in Boston, they had the first ever unofficial Iron Man match where Bret Hart defeated Ric Flair, after a full hour, by reversing the figure four into a pin to retain the WWE Championship. Of course, in 2005, on the same day, on January 9th, was the very first New Year's Revolution as Triple H won the Elimination Chamber to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And in 2006, that was the night the Edge and Lita had the first live sex celebration, celebrate the WWE Championship win. On January 10th, 1983, Nick Bockwinkel defeated Jerry the King Lawler, to become AWA champion. And of course, on that same day, 1994, 1-2-3 Ken Marginetti won the tag team titles. January 11th, 1991, Ric Flair defeats Sting to become the first ever official WCW World Champion, separate from NWA. 1993 was the first Monday Night Raw. Of course, on January 12th, 2009, Shawn Michaels defeated John Cena in a main event on Raw. And of course, in 2019, January 12th, NXT UK Takeover debuts, for the very first time. Birthdays on January 8th, Chris Masters turns 40. Bull Nakano turns 55. Rey Mysterio Sr. turns 65. Bushwhacker Luke turns 76. On January 9th, Ruby Riott turns 32. Of course, January 10th, Tamina Snuka turns 45. Grandmaster Sexay, Brian Christopher would have turned 51. And Buff Bagwell turns 53. And that is your week in wrestling. Mike Knoxxx, back to you.
Yo, 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 it's crime time. EST. Soul Man, Rocky Johnson. It's the Honky Tonk Man. NWO. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? UPR and Around the Blocks give to you This Week in Wrestling History with King Von.
That's my man, Victorious Ones podcast. Make sure to check it out. Talking wrestling, entertainment, sports. Still put Shaq way back in those numbers, but hey, it's not my list. We all know how I feel about lists. It's yours, so I respect it nonetheless. I am here with the executive consultant on Pop Reviews Entertainment and on Pop Reviews Mike Knoxxx show, Perfect Plex Talk Radio, and the hottest second topic of the week, executive consulting. Because you're an executive, okay? You see I ain't talking to the man in the mirror. You see this man right here signing money. Why? Because without this man right here, you guys would not be here listening to us right now or anybody else you choose to or do not listen to. Let me just say this, as I've said, that's even a word. So many damn times, I'm going to make up a word for it, okay? Vincent Kennedy McMahon is professional wrestling. And somewhere along the lines, the same way I heard such an entertainer on Shannon Sharp's show, The Shade Room, mentioned Eddie Murphy today would probably be not considered funny because he said this joke you got to take out. You said this joke got to get taken out. You said this joke got to get taken out, and nobody would understand how funny Eddie Murphy was or Richard Pryor and those greats like that. What Vince did at Once Upon a Time was great, and what he did, being a man of power, happened all the time in those days. Unfortunately, and I say this with all respect, those were the times, right? Those times have caught up with you. You can't be a scumbag anymore. You can't walk around and say, "What up, my boob?" You can't do those kind of things anymore. That you just can't do them. Okay, you can't have ladies with their legs cocked open in front of your face looking like this. Okay, you can't say these kind of things that this man has said. So he's been canceled, as they say, right? The cancel culture. But the question, everybody came out and said, and I mean, everyone those who I didn't even think would have the opinion of saying he's egotistical, he's this, what an a-hole, how can he be back doing these things? I say, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's his company, right? What I mean, seriously. And what I don't understand, don't give me that damn look, okay? I say what I said because I'm saying this to you. Never, ever have a drink. Have I ever had a company I didn't want to sell to somebody that was my own? Never, ever have I had anything that I own and wanted to know where I was going to give it to. Never, ever have I said by being, now this is where I say people put on your business hats, put on the show for the intelligent wrestling fan. He didn't put himself in anywhere. There's called a board of directors. They have to vote, just like the House. Although they continue to mess that up, they probably messed this up too, and they vote him back into where he is today. But still, with all that being said, has it never been said that he's going to take back over and be back in gorilla position? But wrestling fans, lo and behold, who sit back and just wait to ejaculate themselves to say they said something first, had to be there quick to the punch. And as he said in ATL, you were a quick pumper. Slow down, Speedy. Slow down. And put yourself, regardless of how you feel about the man, in his position. It's my company. If I want to sell it, you're not going to sell it where I don't want it to go. It's my legacy, despite how you feel about him being a scumbag. Being a scumbag has nothing to do with his money or you. And technically, probably, you might want to let him decide where the ish goes. Because if it goes to like Nickelodeon, right? If it goes to Disney, anything we've ever loved about this company will die. You better hope it goes to HBO or Paramount. You better hope so. Because if Disney, who is becoming the monopoly, not the one we play and we kick my kids' ass in, the monopoly of everything, they already got a lawsuit against them for making you have ESPN with a certain package to pay money just to watch ESPN. Read the news lines, people. I'm just saying, is Vince a scumbag? Yes, absolutely. But cool your jets. He's not coming back in TV position. I love the jokes. Oh, he probably hired Bronson back, so he got to come back and get and save the ship. Oh no, Johnny Gargano's going to win a title. Johnny should be one of the people that we read a couple weeks ago. Triple H unhappy with no talent. Well, he should have known that the man was 5'4" and he looks like Mike Gartner. Okay, so when you understand professional wrestling, remember I said earlier, let's rewind the tape. Superstar versus just somebody who's good. Dean Malenko made my top technical wrestlers of all time. But damn it, I never liked the man, but he was good at his job. That was it. Some people are just good at their job. They're not, you know, exactly. They say Vince, why Vince? I say, why not? It's his company.
I can't disagree with you at all. We've been agreeing on pretty much everything today.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but I mean, it is what it is. You're right. It's his company. The bottom line is, I think WWE is worth like something along the lines, and somebody fact check me on this. It's worth somewhere in the lines of $5.1 billion. Okay,
I thought it were like 2, but you know,
I believe that's the last thing I saw. 5.1 billion, especially since when Vince actually got his position back. Mm-hmm. Stock went up. Stock jumped up.
It's 17. Deal. I'm reading it right now. I'm going to bring it out. You have this from the Wall Street Journal. Okay, 17%. The company has gone up because, again, we're in that cancel culture, right? So, he's going. I like him again. I've always thought that was a weird thing. We had a guy on the show. He did good work for his name. I'll say his name. I'm not afraid. I don't care. Caden, right? Who, until he's gone, I'll never watch WWE again. I was like, you're a moron. Okay, but that was his choice. Right.
Shout out to Caden. He works for Fightful now with Sean Ross Sapp.
Awesome.
But Okay, and highlight the last comment down there for me, Mr.
The last one, 60, what, 6 point, Jesus.
$6.5 billion. Do we know how much WWE probably was worth when Vince took it over?
Right.
All right. And that's going through the 80s, which a golden era and Hulk Hogan. That's going through the Attitude Era, which everybody loves. It's going through the Ruthless Aggression Era. They're worth more money now
than they ever were.
Than they ever have. And I'm not saying Vince did it all on his own because we know he did not. But Vince did it financially. Vince did it even creatively. I was not one of those ones who wanted Vince to go so bad. Did I see a lot of issues with Vince? Yes. Do I enjoy the product more since Vince been gone? Yeah, that's true. I do. I don't like all the people Triple H brought back. I'll be honest with you. Some of those people I said for good go, I understood why they got fired. I'm not even going to talk about Johnny Gargano.
Okay.
Right?
And I can say this either, and I can say Karrion Kross. I thought he should have been brought back, but I haven't seen much since he's been brought. I personally think Triple H is doing too much of an AEW bill with things.
Correct.
Where he's taking a too slow approach, and that's not been their motto. So
right, because what exactly has Bray Wyatt done?
Not a damn thing, but get on my nerve until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, now I mean his storyline is interesting in the slow build, but at the same time, he's been back since October.
Question:
He's been back since Roman Reigns defended the title.
If it wasn't Bray, would it be really interesting? I don't think it would be. It's Bray, and we give him enough credit to be great that we give it a pause, right? But I remember everybody hating the Firefly Funhouse when myself and Dice Man was like, "Hello, are you not watching this shit right here? This is golden."
I said it countless times. I'm a huge fan of Bray Wyatt. One time we did a mock draft, and he actually was my number one pick. But at the same time, I also will always say, if you look at his feuds, the feuds are good, but the climax of it, so to speak, is never that satisfying. All the jokes at that, never that satisfying because you can't remember the last blow-off match he's had that was memorable. The feud, yes. The blow-off match, no. But the bottom line is what I want to say about Vince. Some people are upset that he came back. Now, he said he wasn't taking over anything else. He's there to sell the company. I wish he wouldn't sell the company at all. That's just me. For me, it would be kind of a sad day if WWE does not own by the McMahon family. Right? Yeah. That's just it. But it seems like that's the angle they're going to go. They've been talking about it. It's been rumored for years now.
And thank you. I'm glad you said I'm going to cut you off right there.
Go ahead.
You're right. And when that, guys, they've been talking about this for 3 years. About them selling the company. So why all of a sudden they're like, and again, I love
that was the whole point of the time, some people said.
The whole point
of letting people go like that. It's because they wanted to sell the company. Now, I think they were back and forth. I don't think it was solidified. Yes, I think it was just rumors. And then Vince was let go, so to speak, retired, whatever, forced to retire because of the $19 million switch deal. I was told he has to pay back, but hey, he's the one that got all the money. But anyway, check this out. And that's his personal business. Those people sign NDA clauses. That's on them.
That's what I always say. Listen, everybody's so quick, man. And I get a scumbag's a scumbag, right? And I get we live in a capitalism of America that says if I have money, I can get my way out of everything, and it sucks, right? But there's those freedom fighters, right, that say, I'm not taking your money, you're going down. So if they take the money, that's all I'm saying.
And this is how Vince felt at home.
You're out, Norman. Am I?
The house show doesn't count. That's how he felt. The whole board was like, you're out, because I decided to do my business and pay him off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? This is my relationship that I messed up, my wife, my children.
Right.
But realistically speaking, a lot of this happened. We had ideas, but a lot of this happened. We didn't even know. Linda and Vince probably moved out the house together years ago. Didn't affect anything. And one thing I'll say about Vince is, as much as the product I feel like is better, my favorite pay-per-view last year, and a lot of you, as y'all voted, pay-per-view last year was WrestleMania. That was a Vince McMahon produced product. Okay? Proving he still got it. That was a phenomenal time.
I was a little girl at a New Kids on a Block concert. The way I acted last year, WrestleMania.
And then on a more serious note, the man's like 77 years old. Fact check me. The man's like 77 years old. He's been running, as people have always well documented, nonstop, barely any days off for over 40 years. He was born pretty much in the business. This is all he knows. So if you're doing that every day for 40, 50, 60 years, and then now I'm just at home, He's probably bored. Not only is he probably bored, realistically speaking, I don't want to be dark. That's all I know. He might die. I hate to say it like that, but he goes from full speed to slow at home. Yeah, he goes to UFC. Yeah, he goes to eat out with some woman or something like that. But he's used to being in the business of some sort. Him just sitting at home. Yeah, I'm sure he called. Hey, John, what's up with Johnny Gargano? I can barely see him on screen. I can see it. But he's not really involved. This gets him back involved. And then, as Mike said so eloquently, you want to sell my company and you think that I built from ground up, that I created this business? I did a monopoly in wrestling for 20 years. You think I'm not going to have a say who's going to buy my company? F no. No. I'm going to get in this. This is what we're going to do. Am I? He threw his bombs.
And I think, well, I will agree with the egotisticalness of Vince McMahon is if your family can buy it, then why not sell it to them?
And I wish he would.
That's the question, but we don't know, right? Everything's always like, he's a D-bag. He's not. We don't know if they put a pitch in, right? We just don't know. I mean, we can assume not, but some people don't. Look at Shane. We think we would want that empire forever. I told my second son today, I said, you're like the second prince. That's like the greatest prince you can be, right? You have no pressure. Right? Like 2 more people got to die before you're in charge, right? You're like the guy on Game of Thrones, like, I want to be king, because you get for like your whole life has never been made to be king. Like, he doesn't want the kingdom. So we just got to sit back and hope, and we can make fun of AEW. At least I believe Tony Khan loves professional wrestling.
He's a fan.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
He's definitely a fan.
All the coke, all the booger sugar needed. I believe he's a fan of professional wrestling. So
definitely.
We're going to take one more break for the
downfall, though.
That is, and it is, and I think as a wrestling fan, it's every wrestling fan's downfall. It's like when I make my list and people don't understand my vision, right? It's because wrestling is so prideful to people that if you don't touch with it, if you don't connect with it, if you're not if you're not a part of it, it's not you. You know what I mean? So if you don't understand how I'm attracted to something, you're not going to get the point. But that's the beauty of wrestling is we all have different spectrums to look through and like your lens is on right now to see through. We're going to take one more break, guys. Like I said, we got Unpopular Review Entertainment and this guy over here because we were forced to watch Police Academy in the upcoming.
I'm sorry for everybody who unsubscribed.
It happens. Okay. He picked Star Trek and I gotta watch Star Trek movies. We'll be right back, y'all, to ask the question: is Roman a fighting champion? Is he?
Beyond the darkness, beyond the human evolution, is Khan.
I've done far worse than kill you. I've hurt you, and I wish to go on hurting you. I shall leave you as you left me, marooned for all eternity, buried alive. Buried alive. Sean!
Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
And that was after Star Trek the motion picture. So a lot of movies coming down the woodwork. You got a favorite movie, like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell notification to let them know when we go live. And tell us if you got something you want us to watch and review. I mean, hell, I've had guys who can't stand The Notebook watch The Notebook. Hell, I still say the name wrong, Babs. Okay? Babs. I watched some crazy stuff to entertain and find out was it good enough. So make sure you come back if you're a fan. If you're a Trekkie or you're like a Star Wars fan like myself, we're reviewing these movies, come back and watch about it. But I asked the question today before we got out of here because I'm listening, as most people are a fan of Buzz Up and Radio. Okay, I will always still say I was a fan of the early years before the professionals got on the program. I think as wrestling fans, we hang on every word of our guys we admired and things like that, and we forget to think for ourselves. So I still watch it for the editorialness of it because if you want to get some information, they're going to give it to you because they're in the know. Okay, and I'm listening to it this Saturday. This is my wife's birthday, and I'm going to get things ready. And my daughter loves wrestling, so I can listen to it with my daughter in the car. And the guy said, Roman Reigns is rumored to be defending his title at WrestleMania weekend on both nights. and that I think that the tribal chief can achieve these things because he's a fighting champion. And reason why I brought up the think for yourself phrase and sentence was because the callers after that and the comments after that, and then of course when there's a chair thrown at a girl's head at a Waffle House, it goes viral, right? Everybody starts saying, yo, Roman's a fighting champion. And I get that Roman has smashed them, stacked them, pinned them. I get that Roman has done it. I think that Roman Reigns is the best thing in the last 20 years since Cena's run. I think it might be a better run than Cena because of just how the transformation, not more popular than Cena, but in the wrestling sense, so great. Because here go a guy that I've completely cheered for years after year. I said it before. I almost got into fights at WrestleMania cheering for Roman Reigns. That's how stupid you people were. Okay, you like Roman? Yeah, I'm sorry about my friend's little drunk. No shit, you better get him back. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy. And now he is the hottest thing going today. If he is not your top everything listed professional wrestling, please explain to me why he's not. Right? And if your only reason is that he doesn't have enough matches, very good point, but doesn't matter. They say he's not on TV. Technically, he is involved in every single show because they say his name in every single show. And he sends the bloodline to do his work every single show. And when that man can sit there and do all these things as great as they are, we cannot say, as the executive consultant has been saying all night, this man has not defended his title since October. What happened to the 30-day clause? I am not the biggest supporter of one Ric Flair. And I've seen every documentary, including the new one, being Flair. The guy was insane, but he was a fighting champion. One Roman Reigns. The picture says enough by itself. Hey, Bigums, what's going on, my guy? Don't buy a 2X. Buy the shirt that fits. This guy, Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, is not a fighting champion. Executive consultant for the third time. Do you agree with me today?
Oh, definitely. He's not a fighting champion. And once again, I say I'm like the biggest Roman Reigns fan, but let's be real. He hasn't defended the title since October. He's not going to defend the title until the last day in January, practically. Since he's been the undisputed WWE champion, he's defended that championship against Matt Riddle, Brock Lesnar, who he beat the championship for, and Logan Paul. That's it. That is it. Since WrestleMania
is iconic, though. that
WrestleMania
surfer them pictures iconic.
That's true. 3 title defenses. Now, I'm not the person who thinks it needs to go like the old days where he's wrestling every Raw, he's wrestling every Smackdown. I don't believe that. I do believe he should wrestle every pay-per-view. But at the very least, if you're not going to wrestle every PLE, it should at least have been every major PLE. So as much as I enjoyed the War Games concept and the fact that he was in it, he should have been defending a championship. Even if he's going to win, he still should have been defending the championship against something.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? That's just my personal opinion.
Do you think the rumors are, if they are, right? Because you have it right now where obviously the winner of the Royal Rumble gets to defend or choose the title they want to go after, right? Which is owned by the same guy. So pick whatever belt you want to go for. Now, I have long since have been, and I'm going to always say this because, God damn it, the proof's in the pudding, so come with a taste. I know that you love it from the smile on Rock's face. That I told you for 3.5 years from the very beginning, the bloodline. As soon as that man said chief and I run this family, I thought, huh? That's what makes the gimmick great. It's been set up from day one for this matchup. It was been in LA, COVID happened, things happened, and unless this man has a movie contract that we don't know about, something strange happens, this match is happening at WrestleMania. Okay?
Is it? I'm not so sure. If Roman is wrestling 2 nights, and that's just a rumor, we don't know that, okay? And I don't know any inside information. If Roman is wrestling 2 nights, this is my reason behind it, right? Put the first picture back up. If Roman is wrestling 2 nights, this man right here is not on the card.
That's why I don't think he's wrestling both nights.
Correct. I don't think he's wrestling both nights. But if he is wrestling both nights, it's because Roman, by far, is the biggest draw in that company. Listen to the crowd.
Don't leave these guys out.
They're great. They're great. But listen to the crowd. Look at the crowd when they come out. When Roman comes out. Even at the beginning of SmackDown, you say you didn't see it. But even at the beginning of SmackDown last week, the Bloodline started the show. And then as soon as Roman's music hit, everybody's on their feet. Ones are up. He does the thing. He's learned from Dwayne Johnson. Don't act like Roman hasn't learned some things from his cousin. The whole Chicago, acknowledge me, it's the same as finally The Rock. It's just a play. It's just what it is. He told him to do that and get the city involved because that's what you do to get the city involved. That's the WWE way of doing things. The AEW way of doing things is to mention WWE because that's how big the company is.
I want to mention DC's comment right here. The one major flaw is that WWE hasn't built enough talent to be legitimate contender stars or talent. I would say that's a perspective state, right? Because you're going to like who you like, right?
I think Roman Reigns could have fought Sheamus in Survivor Series. I think Roman Reigns could have fought Kevin Owens in Survivor Series. I think Roman Reigns could have fought.
People are hurt.
Kofi Kingston. I know Kofi isn't where he used to be, but Kofi could still be a contender if they tried. That's just on SmackDown alone. On Raw, he still has
Bobby Lashley,
which they tried to keep him away
from.
Seth
Rollins,
but that was earlier this year, Royal Rumble.
Okay.
AJ Styles is somebody they have not done.
I think Theory can be a logical contender personally. How Theory's been, I think Theory's a star that's being built.
There's plenty. Now, granted, Roman's still a bigger star than almost everybody I just named by far. But there are plenty of contenders that Roman has not defeated yet that he can go out and defeat in this. Because I agree with Mike. He said the best past 20 years. I dare say 40. Roman Reigns' single title reign right now is the most entertaining. Why? Because it's been over 2 years.
I lived through the HH era. So I can't say 40 years. Because it was crazy. The stereo bars, the TV shows, the blue.
That's from a merchandise perspective.
Well, that matters.
I'm talking about
wrestling. That matters. That's
now in that first HH, because I see where press for time, but that first HH era, right? In his first world title run, which was over 3 years. Can you tell me his feuds?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There would be Roddy Piper, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, which some would say with that match set us where we are today as far as the numbers are concerned.
Correct.
Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. And I think another Iron Sheik. I got a rematch in there somewhere. I know Derek Mitchell, who's more of a historian more than me. Correct me here, but I believe in those first 3 years.
But listen to what you just said. Name the wrestlers you just said, and then think about the fact that it's 3 years.
Yeah, but you know what? But this is why I always look.
But I also know it's a different era. It's a different era right now, and I will acknowledge that as well. It's a completely different era. But for the fact that Roman's able to do what he has done for as long as he's done. In this different era.
Yes.
And I can still name more wrestlers.
Yes.
I would say this is why. And the fact of the matter is, even though Roman has held that championship for the 2.5 years he's had that championship almost, I still don't see it end in sight, realistically speaking.
Unless, even The Rock coming back doesn't beat him.
I think Rock coming back actually enhances him holding that title for a little while longer.
You thought the picture of Black Adam holding up the arms of one Peacemaker was famous at WrestleMania? No. You're going to see it this way because he's the tribal chief. The Rock has to pass the torch. The torch must be passed.
Right. I know a lot of people think Rock is coming back to beat Roman. Rock is only coming back to put Roman more over, and believe it or not.
But he's not a fighting champion.
He's not a fighting champion. I can't sit here and lie.
I hate
he does
the word.
Not have to be.
I hate the words part-timer. I loathe the word part-timer because if you know what you're doing, that's wrestling. No one says anything about AEW. I get you get your Moxleys who wants to do those things, but every star doesn't have to be on every show. And I urge you to go back and learn your history. That's what everybody was Ric Flair. There was a difference between, and one day I want to talk about the difference between Flair and HH. Two champions. You have what was truly the people's champion, which is probably Flair, versus the bigger star, which was Mr. HH. So which one do you want to be? You want to be the people's guy, but you're in this game for money and business and fame. So Paul Orndorff, Big John. I know I missed Big John Stutton there. Did he just name the Masked Superstar? I knew that. I was talking about important people.
Masked
Okay.
Superstar, King Kong Bundy, Randy Savage, Dr. D. David Schultz, Nikolai Volkov, Iron Sheik, King Harley Race, Don Morocco, Greg Valentine, Kamala, Terry Funk, Bob Orton Jr., and a Roddy Piper. Hey, I'm not taking anything away from the man's reign. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. If you disagree, you disagree. I think, and I lived through that too, most of it. Not some of it, actually. I wouldn't say most of it. But in my opinion, Roman Reigns, better than Stone Cold, has the single best. Understand what I mean when I say single best? That means not combining number 1 and 3. Single best world title reign I have ever seen.
And I'm going to agree with Roman Reigns' reign. Again, not fighting champion doesn't have to be, because look what he's done. Look what he said. And I agree with have a comment that says there should be a female bloodline member. I think it would have been Naomi. I think she listened to Sasha Banks too much. I don't think Naomi has again, this is nothing against the girl. We talk about early in the program about WWE's production making people be better. I think where I've always was critical about her move sets and her getting winded and things like that could be shadowed by the glow. Okay, the production of the glow. I was just at WrestleMania again, like a little girl at a New Kids on the Block concert screaming when it came out. My daughter's, that's her favorite female wrestler of all time. And she should stay where she's at. But with that being said, guys, and that's my tagline. We're going to get out of here. My time is up. I want to thank King Von Jr. 720 Backstage, the Victorious Ones podcast. I want to thank the executive consultant for coming on today, so I didn't have to be all winded by myself talking alone. So I appreciate that. But it doesn't matter because you still have been here anyway. So listen, guys, thank you guys for listening, because I am the $1 Million host. You are the $1 Million audience. And together, like the Mega Powers, we tag in and out to form the $1 Million Connection. So do not wake up tomorrow morning and say to yourself, I love me some me. And don't love God. That's crazy. We out of here, y'all. Fingers.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah. Perfect Plex Radio. We about to go live on him. Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's because he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? We about to give y'all something special. You ready?